going over kind of the final mock draft before the NBA draft starts and begins this upcoming week. So this is kind of gonna be my final breakdown of mock drafts, but this time I'm gonna be looking at Ringers 2024, kind of their draft guide is what I have up here by Kevin O'Connor. And what I'm gonna be doing today is the big board, not the mock draft, because I'm gonna be looking at Bleacher Report's mock draft, including trades. And what I'm going to be giving is kind of my input on whether I think these are going to be realistic, how possible these are, and I'm still going to give grades like I did last time. But the main focus is to see what's changed from last time. So going ahead, we're going to go into the mock draft with 5 trades, and this is by Zach Buckley. This is pretty recent. This is 2 days old. So here we go. So first overall here, they have Zachary Ricochet for the Hawks. Now, last video I was saying I could possibly see Zachary Ricochet going one, and in this one I do. So for number 1 pick, he has a clear cut case to be number 1. So I'm gonna go down to number 2 real quick to see if it's Alex Sarr, and it is. So I'm gonna give both of these an A grade because I think I think this is what's going to happen because recently Alex Sarr, there's been some rumors that he's kind of dodging the Hawks because he doesn't want to go there. And to be honest, I think he would be probably better on the Wizards, and I do think Zachary Ricochet would be better on the Hawks. So for the first 2 picks, I'm going to give these A grades. Now let's go on to number 3. Okay, so interesting. A trade to number 3, the Hornets. The Hornets get the number 3 pick. Very interesting. Now, obviously this was the Rockets pick. So they get Brandon Ingram, and the Hornets would receive Cam Whitmore, Jock Landale, and the number 3 pick, in which Bleacher Report proposes would be Reed Shepherd. Now, if I'm the Hornets, would I accept this? I'd say yes, because I forgot to mention this, sorry, but it's a 3-team trade here with the Pelicans getting Miles Bridges after he gets signed, Jashawn Tate, number 6 pick, and the number 44 pick. But here, the Rockets receiving Brandon Ingram. I think that does help the Rockets. Jock Landale was good, but Brandon Ingram to the Rockets could be very well, because in the last mock draft, there was some speculation of Reed Shepherd to the Rockets, which I was saying didn't make too much sense because of the fact that they were pretty guard heavy. So I do like the idea that the Rockets would then get Brandon Ingram, good vet, and if he stays healthy, he is amongst probably a top 6, top 7 small forward currently. That is including his injuries. I'd probably put him about in that range, but for the Hornets, I do love this. Cam Whitmore is a good young player. Jock Landale is a good big to pair alongside of the Nick Richards. Then Reed Shepherd, I do like that. But would you start Reed with LaMelo, considering everything's good with LaMelo, and then put Brandon Miller at small forward? And for the Pelicans, I'm not sure. I don't know. Number 6 pick. We'll have to go down and see who they have drafting. But Miles Bridges is a good player, despite all the things that basically the media sees as he does wrong. And number 44 pick from the Warriors via Houston. So for this, I'm gonna give a B, about a B minus as a whole trade, including all the teams. Individually, I'd say the Hornets I give about a B plus. Rockets about a B, and the Pelicans about a C plus. Before seeing the number 6 pick, so that's one of the big trades. Number 4, okay. Donovan Clingan. Excuse me. The Memphis Grizzlies trading for Clingan. Now, before I even see the trade, that is interesting to pair with former DPOY Jaren Jackson, but I do think their big depth is, according to what I know off their knowledge, is not the best. So let's see, they get number 4 pick and Kellen Johnson. So this is a trade with the Spurs, obviously. Spurs received Marcus Smart, Zaire Williams, number 9 pick, number 30. Off bat, I think this would be a great trade for the Grizzlies and the Spurs. Depending if the Spurs want to maybe. Here's what my dilemma with this is. I think the Spurs should with this pick, if they do trade it, whatever. But I think they should maybe get Rob Dillingham at the 4. I was vouching for that last video, but overall I'd get this about a B plus, maybe A minus, because Grizzlies get their depth. They're really good defensive big and maybe could develop some offense and get a young player. And then the Spurs get a really good defensive veteran guard, Zaire Williams, good, and all these picks. So I do like this, but I don't like it as much as the Spurs just keeping their pick and getting Rob. And 5, Matas. We already know Matas. We know how good Matas can be. So I'm gonna keep the same. I don't know. I'm gonna give this about a B plus. I think Matas is gonna be good for the Pistons. Not much more to say. We know the kind of the prospect he's about. Moving on to trade, the Knicks getting Stephon Castle. Okay, let's see. Knicks getting Mitchell Robinson. Okay. I mean, the Knicks getting Stephon Castle. I mean, I don't really like this one. I'm gonna give this like a C plus. I don't really like this one as much. They have Miles McBride, Jalen Brunson. They got Josh Hart. I mean, they got guards. But I mean, if they do want maybe like a 6-man, kind of like, I don't know, I kind of see this as an Emmanuel Quickly replacement. But I think this would be beneficial for the Pelicans to. I think the Pelicans trade earlier was better than this one. So yeah, I'm not too good on this, but I think this placement that Stephon Castle's at is good. So C plus. Blazers getting Cody Williams. I like this pick for the Blazers. Last time I was talking about Yves Misi potentially, but I think them getting not like a super big prospect that is super offensive heavy is going to end up great in the long run, because that's kind of what their Scoot Henderson and Shaden Sharp picks are. So really a stretch player, I think, for them would be good. So I'm going to give this an A. Number 8 via Raptors, Dalton Connect. I gave my thoughts about Dalton Connect, and this is via the Raptors. This was if the Spurs did this trade. I'm not too sure on this. I'm going to have to think about giving this a grade later. So I'm going to go ahead and go to 9. A trade for the Bulls to get Devin Carter out of Providence. Now, we know how stingy the Bulls are on trade, so for this being realistic, I don't know, right? With this Caruso and Giddey trade, I don't know. But another Spurs trade here. To be honest, Devin Carter to me is not. I'm kind of on the fence about Devin Carter as a prospect. I can see how good he could be, or I could kind of just see him being a role player, right? Like I said here, do everything connector. Like, yes, Derek White, like I said, but when role player, I don't mean Derek White type of role player. But I'm gonna give this a solid B, exactly a B. I don't see it going any higher. Maybe you could get a little lower. Number 10 here, Ron Holland. So the Jazz getting Ron, I think, could work out. Last time, I think they had Rob Dillingham with the Jazz. So another guard forward. Ron Holland, I think, is a good explosive guard. So I'm gonna give this a B plus. Now I'm curious if this. Yes, okay. So they still have Rob with the Spurs. Now maybe it's just me being biased as a prospect towards Rob Dillingham, but I really think he is gonna be great in the NBA. So they have Rob going all the way down here with the Spurs. So I'm gonna give this an A. This is probably my steal of the draft when it comes, if you're for at least for the guards. I think his potential offensively is insane. His defense is just not there. But for this, the reason I give him an A is strictly for that Wimby connection. And with this trade proposed, it could happen. So A for sure. The Thunder really via the Rockets get Tijon Saloon. Um, hmm. Last video I said I had no idea who he was, and to be honest, I didn't know how to pronounce his name. I saw him. I think this guy right here is a steal of the draft. So if the Thunder could somehow get him, let's see the proposed trade. Oh, sorry that they showed the. It's the they got the 12th pick. Sorry. I mean, I'm gonna give this an A as well if this were to happen. I think this is great. The dude's insane. I mean, obviously Zachary Richeche and Alex are the big French guys out of this, but this is my sleeper. Tijon Saloon, real good. I mean, he's 18, man. This guy's good. And if the Thunder snag him, considering they were just first in the West, they just got Alex Caruso. Man, this team was dangerous. A for sure. Matter of fact, I'm gonna slide it up to an A plus. That's how high I am. 13, Jacoby Walter. So last time he was 14. This time the Kings snag him. So is this kind of like a Davion Mitchell kind of player? Or what role are they kind of trying to have him? I'm actually interested. This is my first time seeing this. Okay. So, I don't know. I'm gonna guess about a C plus. I guess the Kings could use some guards. They kind of do play guard ball. Um, I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't too sold on Jacoby Walter, but he's one of those prospects that I'm in between about. So that's what I'm going to leave it right now. Could be proven completely wrong. I would love to be. But let's go on to the last pick of the lottery picks. We have Keyshawn George, sorry, from Miami, right? And I don't know too much about him, but I've seen him in a bunch of mock drafts. I saw him play maybe 2 games in college while I was on TV. But based off this, the description, he does seem pretty good, right? So I'm going to give this about a B. I think he could fit the system with the Blazers, especially at 6'7". He's kind of that stretch guy who can be a good shooter and can maybe become a little bit more physical. So I'm going to just do lottery picks here. It goes the whole first round. So now let's go on. Oh, I forgot to give my rating on Dalton Connect. I'm gonna give that a C plus. Not too sold on Dalton Connect. I kind of see him as kind of like a player who can fit a Corey Kispert or Malik Beasley or Klay Thompson type of role. Maybe even like a Rodney Hood type of role. That I don't know. That's just kind of what I see. So that's why I'm gonna give it C plus, especially for the number 8. But let's go on to the Ringers' best prospects here, or best big board. So Stephon Castle at 1. So before I give ratings, I'm just gonna go down and go through all of them. So Donovan Clingan 2, Matas Buzelis 3, Reed Shepard 4, 5 Devin Carter, 6 Tijon Saloon, 7 Alex Sarr, 8 Zachary Richeche. So interesting, all 3. So I do agree. This is probably how I would rate it for the French prospects, but I would put it a little bit higher than that. Dalton Connect 9, really. KCP, Max Strus. Okay, so that is kind of the player I was going for. I just didn't mention Max. I mean the ideas from Kevin were kind of there. Rob Dillingham. I did mention the Lou Will type of. I said Jordan Clarkson, Lou Will, Bones Highland, all kind of the same thing. Nikola Topic. Goran Dragic, I can definitely see that. Cody Williams, Jalen Red, yep. Ron Holland, Jared McCain. So we're going to go through at least 20. Zach Edey, Jacoby Walter, Bob Carrington, Bobby Clintman. That's a name I'm interested to see. Isaiah Collier. I think, really, Emmanuel Mudiay. I mean, I could definitely see Manuel Mudiay. Definitely could. And Kalel Ware. We're going to just do 20. Tyler Kolek. Okay, well, we did a little bit extra, but Tyler Kolek is, yeah, I'd say that is a really good comparison. So this is strictly based off prospects, not a mock draft. Um, I, I do kind of like the Stephon Castle placement, although I would probably put Tijon, Alex, Rob, Cody, and then who else was it? Isaiah Collier higher, right? A lot higher. Tijon Saloon would probably be like 3. Yeah. Donovan Clingan, I don't like it too. I'd probably put him like 7. Sar would probably be 5. Hmm. I see the idea from Kevin O'Connor here. It's not really my idea. I think Donovan Clingan is just such an interesting. Not even. I don't know the way to describe Donovan Clingan. I can definitely see the Rudy Gobert, Marc Gasol, but I think his offense can just be better. I don't know. He is only 20 though. That's the good thing. So, I'm gonna after seeing those top 20, I'm gonna go ahead and just go ahead and give the whole big board a rating. I'm gonna give it about a B. There's quite a things that change, but the prospects that are here are fairly similar. There's those disagreements that I mentioned are pretty obvious there. But for the most part, the number one I do agree with. Just I'd put Saloon there, and then 3 would probably be Sar, right? I changed my mind. Sar would probably be 3 and not 5. I the Devin Carter placement's interesting. I'd put him 10 probably. I think Rob's a better prospect, but I maybe we will look at the mock draft just to compare. Um, let's. I don't know. Rob. Okay. Um. So Tris. So we saw up to about right here, right? So we're gonna go ahead and look at the ringers. Stopping at the 4. We're gonna go 15 to 30 real quick, and then I'm not gonna give a breakdown on each pick. I'm just gonna go down and see kind of the placement, and after we're gonna give my thoughts, right? So 15, Tyler Kolek. 16, Tristan Da Silva. 17, Kel'el Ware. 18, Jared McCain. 19, Jacoby Walter. 20, Bub Carrington. Okay. 21, Yves Misi. That's very interesting. Isaiah Collier to the Suns. Yeah, that's it. I had said I give thoughts after, but no, that's a great pick. Bobby Clintman to the Bucks. That'd be great for him. Johnny Furphy, interesting because I've seen some him to Denver. Ryan Dunn to the Knicks. So back to back picks. They get themselves a kind of 2 shooters here. Furphy I could definitely see. Keyshawn George to the Wizards. Okay. Okay. I mean, if they get Alex Sarr and George, I think that'd be good. KJ Simpson, okay. Um, that's actually good. I like that. Tim Connolly would cook if he got KJ Simpson. And then his alma mater, the Nuggets, Deron Holmes. That is who the Nuggets want. My previous video about the Nuggets, I did say the Nuggets should definitely get Deron Holmes the second for their big, easily. Exactly. I don't think I could have put that better words. Tyler Smith, Terrence Shannon. Uh, yeah, we're just gonna do the first round there. Okay. So to be honest, this whole 15 through 30, I agree with Kevin. Right, I'm gonna give him an A grading. I think these are really good landing spots, except maybe Ryan Dunn and there was one other. Yavis Misi I thought was an interesting placement. Um, I thought Yavis could go pretty early. I could see Bub going a little earlier. Um, Furphy maybe later. I don't know. But I like this 27-28 pick a lot. Really. Matter of fact, this 26, 27, 28. I mean, especially 30. If they get Terrence Shannon Jr. and can develop him in that kind of tournament, I know it's completely two different players, but big March Madness products like they had Carson Edwards. If they could get him into the lineup, that'd be lethal. So overall, going over the ringer and Bleacher Report's newest mock draft, including trades, I would say the top two for sure is Alex or Zachary Richeche, for sure, and that number three spot, I'm seeing Reed Shepard. It could be Klingon. I don't know. I'd say those are both top five picks. So overall, going to be a very interesting draft outside of the top five. I think, but top three, I think is I don't know, man. Top two definitely Sar Richeche, but Reed, I'd say Reed and Klingon. But there's always Montas you could throw in there. But overall, yeah, that's gonna wrap up my newest and latest kind of reaction to two different websites and mock draft, different ideas. And let me guys know if you enjoy this and ideas of what's gonna happen at this year's NBA draft and where you think these prospects are gonna land.